Hey everyone, it's Megan. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am super excited to do a video that I got idea. I've seen a few YouTubers, bloggers do. This is my books that personally I think are overhyped on TikTok, BookTube, etc. These books, even though I didn't like them, it's nothing against the author. It's more of books need to wow me or have that kind of like wow effect on me. Like, that was a great book, I want to reread it. Some books just don't do it for me. If you like these books, great. Don't come at me. Personally, I did not like these books, and I'll kind of tell you the reasons why I didn't. So hopefully that will help you decide if you want to read it, if you want to skip it, if you want to borrow it. Personally, I wish that I would have just borrowed these books from the library. So let's kind of just jump right into it. If you're not subscribed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I do weekly videos, lifestyle, fashion, books, mom hacks, mom tips, etc., things like that. So I hope you guys can stay around for that. Comment below if you read any of these books. Comment below if you liked it, if you didn't like it. Let me know about another book you liked, didn't like, etc. One that was overhyped on TikTok, book talk, stuff like that. So the first book up is The Maid by Nita Prose. I hope I said her name right. So this book was actually hyped up on TikTok, on book talk, and actually had a really good little thing on the front. A smart, riveting, and deliciously refreshing debut by Lisa Jewell. Lisa Jewell is an author, a thriller author. I have a few of her books. I haven't read any, but I've heard many good things about her books. They're on my book list this year to read Lisa Jewell books. So, because she's well known, I figured why not. This is her first book. And then, yeah, it's called The Maid. So this is pretty much follows Molly the maid. She is different character. She is one of those characters that when something happens in the hotel that she works at, the police detectives automatically assume her because she is a different character. She answers questions differently. She's awkward. She's kind of not really a social person. So automatically the detectives, the police, etc. assume that she was the one that did it. Which, one, it kind of really made me mad for them to automatically assume her because she was so a different antisocial kind of person. And for them to just jump to conclusions it was her because she's different, she's not like us, she's antisocial, it's got to be her, kind of just made me mad, I think, for one. This book, I think this book is either supposed to be a movie or a TV show. I think this would be maybe more of a good, like, movie, if anything. I find this book would probably be a better movie. This book just didn't do it for me. It was a thriller. I didn't like the way they pretty much like eliminated Molly and assumed her as the one that did the murder because of she was different. Didn't like it. That was a no for me. Next book, this is A Friends to Lovers, which I usually do love Friends to Lovers, but this one, so this is on like, this author, again, really popular. This is the only book I read by this author, but I hope to read her other two books. This is a book by Emily Henry. It's called People We Meet on Vacation. So these two characters, Poppy and Alex, they're best friends. They've been on vacation every summer together for 10 years. And then this one summer kind of just changes it all. Again, Friends to Lovers. The main reason why I didn't like this book is just because, like I said, 10 years, 10 summers, and she went through a lot, like, let's see, where was it? So we'll go back between this summer, and then we'll go, like, where is it? This summer. Of course, I can't find it now. 3 summers ago, and then it did like 5 summers ago, and 4 summers ago, 6 summers ago, 7 summers ago, and then this summer, 8 summers ago. Did she do? Yep, 9 summers ago. This summer, 10 summers ago. So she did do all 10 summers in here, which personally for me was too many. I think she should have maybe done the last 3 summers, if anything. Too many summers, too much to think about, too much for me to like wrap my head around. So no, I did not care for this book. Very overhyped on TikTok. But I am going to read her Book Lovers book, which I'm super excited about. So I hope I will love that book more than I like this one. Another book that I read that came out, I believe last year, or no, 2021. So this book kind of reminded me of like TV shows like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Boy Meets World, Twitches, just like any kind of feel-good TV show, even Bewitched, about a nice, friendly witch that just kind of does their own thing, etc., etc. This book is called The X-Hex by Erin Sterling. Automatically, I thought Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Just any feel-good TV shows, movies about witches that is just really happy. So this is like a romance. Tessa Bailey called it a spooky romantic comedy treat that had me sighing at one page, laughing out loud at the next, and the perfect book for fall. No, and no. Nothing for me. It was good, but it didn't have the wow factor for me. I don't really know what it was in this book that just didn't do it for me. Yeah, this is not a young adult novel. It's just, it didn't give me that wow factor. It didn't stop me though from buying her other book that just came out this last year, The Kiss Curse. So I hope that book will be better than this one. I might reread this one just because I wanted to like it. Same with like People We Meet on Vacation. I want to kind of reread this one and hopefully I would like it, but I don't know. This other book, it didn't do it for me. No wow factor. It's mostly had to do that this book had Greek mythologies in it that I'm not familiar with. His other book that I read was called The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, and this was his newer book, The Maidens. So this takes place, it's like a psychological thriller. It takes place in a college university, which was kind of like, oh, cool, college university setting. I thought about, like, for example, Pretty Little Liars. I love Pretty Little Liars. That's the first thing that came to mind was Pretty Little Liars, and that's kind of what I'm like, okay, cool, let's read this book called The Maidens. So there is a murder at Cambridge University, and there is this one professor who is kind of, so Mariana was once herself a student at Cambridge University, and then her niece calls her to tell her that one of her friends has been murdered. And Mariana is one of those, she's a group therapist, and she becomes fixated on the Maidens. So her niece Zoe calls her and tells her that one of her friends was found murdered at Cambridge. She comes to Cambridge because she wants to solve the murder. She was a student at Cambridge. She suspects that the murderer is Edward, who is a prof at the university. And then it says here, another body is found. Mariana's obsession with proving Edward's guilt spirals out of control, threatening to destroy her credibility as well as her closest relationships. But Mariana is determined to stop this killer, even if it costs her everything, including her own life. It's called Psychological Suspense, and it kind of talks about Greek mythology, murder, mythology and murder. Again, I'm not really familiar with the Greek mythology in this book. I think that's one of the main reasons why I didn't like this book. When you go into a book and you're not familiar with a certain topic, it's really hard to get into the book or understand the book. So for me, if I did more research on what is in this book, like the mythology in this book, then and this was not really, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't a book that I would say this book was definitely overhyped. When his other book came out, The Silent Patient, I read it and it was like one of those wow factors. Like I still can't get the book out of my head. I want to reread The Silent Patient because I love it so much. Maidens didn't do it for me. If you like Greek mythology though, and you're very knowledgeable on Greek mythology, I would read this book. Another Greek mythology book that didn't do it for me, I actually did not finish it, was The Son of Achilles. Did not finish that book. Didn't really understand the references in the book, so just kind of read one chapter and then stopped the book. So if I did my research, maybe I would read the books again. This is a series. It's young adult, and I think I should have looked at the back before I decided to read the series. It's 12 years and up. These books would have been good for me when I was 12, I think, when I used to read like the Babysitter's Club, the Mary Kay and Ashley books, California Diaries books, all those kind of books. These books probably would have appealed to me more. This is the Summer I Turn Pretty series by Jenny Han. I read all 3 books because I bought the whole series on Amazon. So I read the first book and I was kind of annoyed by the main character, Bella, because she's very, I don't know how to say it, very girly. So like the main character in this book, Bella, she goes to this summer house with her mom's best friend, and her mom's best friend, 2 boys, Conrad and Jeremiah. It's just back and forth, crush, broken heart, blah, 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 blah. I can't relate to this anymore because I'm not 12 anymore, if that makes any sense. But I did really enjoy the series on Amazon Prime a lot more than I enjoyed the books. I also seen some people post that Bella is a really annoying character, and I would agree with them because she doesn't know what she wants and she's just all over the place. But again, young adult novel, 12 years and up. I wish I would have known or done more research before I started to read these. But probably if I would have read or watched the series first, I would have actually still wanted to read the books. So when I read the books first and the series came out, I'm like, oh, this series is probably going to be as bad as the books, so I need to read it. Or I need to watch it, so I read the series. Or watched the series. Yeah. Series is good. Watch the series. You could skip the books if you still think that you might like the books. Read them. Let me know what you think. Wasn't my jam. This book, such a great cover. I love it. It's all like colorful and like cartoony, and you're thinking it's like, oh, sweet little romance book. My Color Vacation by Tessa Bailey. I don't even know where to start. So this book is about Taylor, who is an elementary school teacher, goes on vacation with her brother. They rent a summer home, and then they find a dead body in the summer home. In comes Miles of the bounty hunter. Tattooed, bad guy, buff. And it pretty much from there, he tries to solve the murder, which he does solve it, but it's more focused on the attraction of Miles and Taylor. And I don't know, it was just very, very spice level. If you like spicy books, it was like spice level like 5 out of 5 at least, okay? So you might like this book. But I don't know, the two themes, they just didn't match, click together, go together for me. I know some people really like this book, but for me, it's just not my jam. Very short book, so you can read it pretty quick. Again, not for me. Her other book that wasn't for me was Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey. Same idea. Steamy romance between the two main characters, and they work at the same department store. Again, didn't do it for me. Other book that didn't really do it for me that I forgot to pull off my shelf was a book by Lucy Foley, which was The Guest List. So that was on a Reese's Witherspoon's book club. And I have a lot of her books that she has recommended. And it was just, I didn't like it. Guest List, I didn't like it. Wasn't wow. I figured out who the killer was very early on in the story, because it was kind of obvious for me, if that makes sense. And I'm just like, nope. Her other two books, I don't really know if I want to read them. I may read them. I may just get them from the library. Probably will get them from the library. It's The Hunting Party, and I can't remember the other name of her other book. Oh, The Paris Apartment is her other book. Whether I read it or not, I'm not sure. I might read it to say that I did, just because I really want to see if it's as disappointing as a guest list. So I might still read The Paris Apartment and just get The Hunting Party from the library, or get it on my Kobo. I don't know. Those are only some books that I thought were overhyped on TikTok that I didn't like. You probably love some of them. Let me know if you like them. If you didn't like them, let me know if there's another book you liked, or another book that was overhyped that you thought you liked that you didn't. I want to know down in the comments. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, the bell notification button, so you're notified whenever I upload a new video, and I will see you guys in the next video.